Hi, everybody. Welcome to What's Brewing with Buckley. Kind of a special day. We got a special group with us. Not only do we have here What's Brewing with Buckley, we also have with us
Mrs. Griffin from also Tea Time. This is our first ever crossover episode. So, Mr. Buckley, thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
We're so excited to have our elementary school with us today. So thanks for being here, Mrs. Griffin. Also, we have with us from our guidance department, Mrs. Kemp.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, Mrs. Kemp. And our special guests today are two young ladies who I often say are a model of what one might call Renaissance women, and often express my desire for my own daughter to emulate these two young ladies. So we have with us today two sisters, Alessandra and Ariana Barlas.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, girls. How are we doing today?
We're doing well. How are you?
Good, good. I'm doing well. So just to give people a little background, we have Ariana and Alessandra with us, especially today, because of an email that Alessandra shared with myself and Mrs. Griffin, and a drive to want to do something for the community. So I think it might be best to just let the young ladies share with us what's been their motivation and talk a bit about what we'd like to do. So ladies, if you could share that.
Yeah, so our parents are both emergency physicians, and they've both been emergency physicians for about 20 years now, over 20 years. And I think we can all safely say that the coronavirus is really unlike anything they've ever seen before. So they're working really, really long and hard hours every single day. So we see firsthand what it's like to be, on the front line of being an essential worker. So when they come home, every day they make it a routine to go immediately upstairs, throw their soiled clothes in the wash, and take a shower just so that we stay protected from whatever germs they may have brought in the house.
Yeah, and seeing them every day and how hard they're working and their dedication to going to work every day, basically putting their lives on the line to save and help so many other people, has really inspired me, especially seeing it firsthand when they walk through the door, go upstairs, take a shower immediately, and hearing their experiences on the front lines. It inspired me to want to do something to really show our appreciation for frontline workers. So I reached out to Mr. Buckley and Mrs. Griffin to see if the St. Mary's community could do something to show our appreciation for frontline workers.
Oh, that's great, ladies. Thanks so much for sharing that. And, we really are so grateful for both your parents and everything they're doing as frontline workers in the middle of this pandemic. So what do you think we can do to support people like your parents, other first responders, civil servants, and the essential workers who are still out there?
Something that I thought that we could do is have elementary schoolers and high schoolers write notes and make pictures that would brighten up the days of essential workers on the front lines, just to show them that we appreciate them and that they're not going unnoticed and that we're so thankful for everything that they do.
So we wanted to ask maybe if the elementary schoolers, the younger children, kindergarten, first grade, to draw a picture, just to put a smile on the workers' faces. And then as the students are older, middle schoolers and high schoolers, to write notes and messages just expressing their gratitude and showing that we care for those essential workers.
Wow, girls. Well, that really sounds great. That really sounds like something we could get behind. Hey, Mrs. Kemp, what do you think we can do to facilitate this happening in our community?
Thinking of a couple of different ways to make sure that students had different opportunities to create or to share thoughts, feelings, drawings, whatever it is that they feel inspired to share with our essential workers. So first thing would be to email drawings, pictures, messages to me, Mrs. Kemp, at jkemp@stmarys.hs.org. We'll make sure to have that email address easily accessible for you. And that way, as we get different responses, we can print and share those with the different places and people. We're also, because we know some students are very creative and artistic, who might really like to draw and express artistically some of their feelings, a Dropbox in front of Immaculate Hall, which will be there each day, and it'll be checked twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. And we will go and make sure that those physical pieces of good wishes will get to the appropriate people. So again, that would be in front of Immaculata Hall, and it'll be checked on Mondays and Wednesdays. And lastly, while we all probably are aware of the different places and people who are doing the really important work, we were hoping to really put a smile on the face of people connected to our community. So a Google form is going to be sent out to all students. So if you know someone in particular, similar to Ariana and Alessandra's parents, maybe your family has healthcare workers or law enforcement, first responders, people who are still out there doing work. Maybe you have family in a nursing home and they can't get visitors right now and you'd like something directed toward them. We'll get that contact information and be able to share some of those cards and greetings directly with those who are connected to our students. And the hope would be that from the St. Mary's community, we could put a little bit of a smile on the face of people who are working really hard and whose lives are really been affected by this.
That sounds great. Thanks, Mrs. Kemp. We appreciate you working with Ariana and Alessandra and seeing this happen. So we have Mrs. Griffin with us. And I think also I'd like to highlight the elementary school has done something really amazing as a response to the needs right now in the tri-state community. So Mrs. Griffin, can you share a bit about what you and Mrs. Trippi have started doing?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Mrs. Trippi is a wonderful educator at St. Mary's. She's our actually technology integration specialist. And it was her idea to take our 3D printer to her home and actually create this sort of factory in her own home. She was producing 3D printed masks. I think she was able to do anywhere between 5 and 6 in a day. As of Tuesday, she had printed over 100 masks. So we've surpassed that 100 mark, which is amazing. And she and Mrs. Kemp and I have been collaborating on this for a couple weeks now. We have a number of families who have signed up to help us and support, and they're actually going to be assembling the masks. There's a little bit of assembly required, and they've also ordered some of the materials that do need to go along with these 3D printed masks, and that would be elastic. So right now we are waiting on some elastic to arrive before we can start assembly. We're hopeful that the elastic will arrive either tomorrow or early next week. But in the meantime, we actually had some support from our former principal, Dr. Celeste Checchia. She actually sewed together some elastic bands so that when the masks are put together, there's only one band that goes behind the head instead of the uncomfortable behind the ears. So she was actually so crafty and so generous to spend her time sewing those and donate them to the cause. We also had another teacher, Mrs. O'Neill. She donated gift bags and mints. So we're actually going to be putting the masks in little gift bags that will go to some of the essential workers. We have identified 2 locations that are able to take these masks. Unfortunately, they can't usually go to hospitals because they're not the medical grade. However, our local POP officers, our Nassau County precinct officers, are so happy to accept them from us. And also, we're donating to a nursing home facility. Unfortunately, one of our faculty members lost her father to coronavirus 2 weeks ago, and he was in this nursing home facility. And so we're going to be donating the masks to that facility for that reason, in honor of this teacher's father. So that's what we're working on right now. But I'm so happy to be also collaborating with the high school on this. I think a lot of people are feeling maybe hopeless, useless right now, and they want something that they can actually do. Obviously, we pray every single day, but this is something so concrete that can really make such a difference in the lives of those essential workers who are getting up every day. And like Alessandra and Ariana said, just putting their lives on the line. We have so many of those people that, people in our parent community, in our alumni community. So I'm sure the elementary school will jump right on this as well.
And thanks so much. We love having little Marys on board with us in these efforts. And perhaps as you're putting together those bags with the masks, maybe we can find a space for some of the items that are going to be contributed by the members of the high school to be part of those bags. Is that something that you think would work?
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. And again, just a natural crossover, the school, the efforts of the students coming together. I think that's fantastic.
Okay, that's great. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here with me today. I can't say enough how proud especially I am of Ariana and Alessandra for reaching out to us and wanting to do such an inspiring thing and be a positive impact during these challenging times. So Ariana and Alessandra, especially with your firsthand experience, I thought maybe you guys could just offer us some of your closing thoughts on all of this.
Yeah, so we really just wanted to say thank you and show our gratitude to all essential workers and healthcare workers who are working on the front lines every day to save so many. They go to work for us, so we're called to stay home for them and save lives just like they're doing them on the front lines for us.
Yeah, we see firsthand how our parents have, been on the front line of this pandemic. And being a senior in high school, I've always wanted to be a physician, so I applied to a BSMD programs, and I'm happy to say that I'm committed to go to the Albany College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences as part of their BSMD program, then matriculating into SUNY Upstate's College of Medicine in 4 years from now. So in 8 years, hopefully I'll have the letters MD I will have the letters MD after my name. And the pandemic has really opened my eyes and made me want to be a physician a lot more and save a lot more of those people's lives. So.
That's great. Thank you so much, ladies. We're so proud of both of you. Ariana, we're so proud of you and your acceptance to that program. But even more so, I'm so proud and grateful that you both are in our community and you model the values and the Catholic beliefs we have in everything you do. So thanks so much for being here with us. Thanks, Mrs. Griffin, for stopping in from Tea Time.
Thank you. You'll be featured on Tea Time. Tea Time is happening simultaneously.
Oh, this is the big crossover episode, everybody. So get your YouTube channels ready. All right, thanks everyone.
Bye, thank you.